So look, the key elements of good suburbs haven't really changed overly much, should I say. So first of all, like I said with most episodes, consistently low supply combined with a wealthy income demographic wanting to buy there, that really matters. Now, the reason for this is because if there's a low supply and there's demand or excess demand from people that are wealthier, prices will go up. It's as simple as that. Look, in Geelong, no different to what I've said in the past, access to jobs/facilities and lifestyle in Triangle are important, and that goes along with the distance to CBD and water. Now, a lot of Geelong is very much so a metro centre. It's not like your Central Coast or even parts of Wollongong. It is very much centred around the CBD, similar to Newcastle. Pretty much all the jobs are here. All the facilities are here too, like a university, hospital, and other major employers like WorkSafe. And also, that is also very close to CBD and water. Geelong is a waterfront city. The CBD is right next to literally Cunningham Pier on the actual Port Phillip Bay. So that's something just to consider about Geelong. To add to that as well, apologies for the dog barking. School zones are very important as well in some parts of Geelong. Generally, wealthier families do live in certain pockets, and generally the better schools are in certain pockets too. Now, in saying that as well, look, there are obviously Geelong Grammar School is there. There are Catholic, private, and Christian schools there too as well, I should say. So, I mean, people do travel around the city to send their kids to school, don't get me wrong, especially if it's to Geelong Grammar School. But they generally are in all suburbs that are generally in the same sort of locations as well. Furthermore to this, suburb income and gentrification are very important. Now, reason for this is because the suburb income of the suburb isn't the same for all. Now, census data will help you slightly with this, but it has changed quite a bit since 2021 because some suburbs have developed significantly over this time, and you won't see it in the data. You'll see it on the ground speaking to people, and not all people that watch these videos are on the ground. So I know that, which goes along with gentrification as well. There's certain pockets of certain suburbs and suburbs themselves that are gentrifying significantly. You will not know this without going there. You will not know this by just looking at data. You need to be on the ground and understand this. So these are all reasons and other things that are kind of going on that are very good fundamentals of good suburbs. These are actually, I shouldn't say going on, these are actual things in Geelong that are set in supply and reasons why suburbs are good and what actually makes suburbs perform well. Now, at the moment, obviously, you've got different things driving the market. So first things first, there's no doubt about affordability is probably the biggest driver of the market at the moment. No doubt that 5% deposit scheme has lit fire on this market even more so. As people know, I did discuss previously that Geelong is considered a regional centre for Victoria. So in the 5% deposit schemes, the actual price caps for the areas, they said capital city and regional centre. The only regional centre that was in that was bumped from, same as Melbourne, from 800 to 950K for that deposit, and that was Geelong. So all those idiots who thought Bendigo, Ballarat, Shepparton were good locations to buy, I told you don't buy there months and months ago and years ago. So I'll tell you right now, you're wrong about that, and the government is even telling you wrong as well. So affordability, first of all, most of the resident population in Geelong can actually afford this suburb. Most of them can genuinely afford it. So that's one thing. But when you add the affordability of every single first home buyer, no matter what they earn, being able to afford it as well, because every suburb in Geelong is purchasable. Even Newtown, which is the most expensive suburb in Geelong, is purchasable for under 950K. It puts heat on the entire market. Now, the only parts really of Geelong that are more expensive than that is the whole waterfront precinct, which is basically some parts of East Geelong, some parts of Geelong, some parts of Geelong West, Drumcondra, Rippleside, and a few houses in North Shore. That's pretty much the only suburbs, plus a very exclusive pocket in Newtown and Geelong West that aren't purchasable for that. But that would make up less than probably 2% of the entire Geelong market. 98% probably of the Geelong market is affordable. Lifestyle is another thing. Look, Geelong really has, like very good lifestyle. You got a waterfront precinct. You got tree-lined streets, a very safe neighborhood, and you're also only about 40 minutes from, the surf coast. Like you're technically 25 minutes from Ocean Grove, Barwon Heads in some parts of Geelong, and probably about 40 minutes from Bells Beach. In many ways, you're only probably about 35 from Torquay Janjuk, to give you an idea. So lifestyle is a big thing, and even you wouldn't even say the surf coast, but lifestyle even in Geelong with a waterfront precinct. It's very, very good there. So that's another thing. Jobs gentrification. Look, to give you an idea, there was an article recently that came out, 30,000 jobs coming in Geelong in manufacturing over the next 10 years. Geelong's only got about 324,000 people, or something around that, give or take 10 or 20,000, right? That's about a 10% increase in only manufacturing. WorkSafe has just recently moved there. There are major transport offices, Transport for Victoria actual offices actually going there too. There's major other government offices. You've got also the hospital precinct expanding, the university precinct expanding, obviously agriculture out towards Colac, the actual farming and fisheries also there as well. And you've also got other industries there too. You've got, I'd even argue you have a legal and probably finance sort of little small sort of area there too as well for Geelong. So, there is a lot going in there. And to add to that as well, accessibility. Most people in Geelong who live in the right suburbs can get to where they need to within 15 minutes, everything they need to. And that includes work, schools, and lifestyle areas of Geelong. Even if you say Melbourne as well, in the west of Melbourne, it's only about a 50-minute drive from the west of Melbourne on a decent day. Look, in a bad day, it's probably an hour and 20, don't get me wrong. But you can catch a train to literally Southern Cross, station in Melbourne, which is Melbourne CBD, in like a flat hour. You can even argue in 55 minutes. I've caught it before and it's only taken me 54 minutes to give you an idea. So even for the hybrid workers and people that even don't mind a bit of a little commute, should I say, into the city of Melbourne, this would be no different than traveling from, like, I kid you not, like Frankston or even you could argue even maybe like Chelsea or Bond Beach. It's probably a similar kind of commute into the city. So, and it's got its own economy there as well. So that's kind of what's driving the Geelong market. Not a lot of people know this, but I've gone into better detail this time to explain it to everyone, because I know the market back to front. This is what's going on in the market, and that's what's happening in the market. So that's what's making it go up significantly in value.